Hey guys, is everybody able to hear me loud and clear? Let me know if anybody have any issues listening. So let's just give ourselves a few more minutes because we're expecting a couple more people to join for today's webinar. So get a cup of coffee or tea, and then we're going to be starting it in a few minutes.
Hey everyone, sorry for the delay. We're going to get started. Deepika, can you hear me?
Hey Amit, yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much for joining. And I know you had some technical difficulties in the morning. So we're just waiting for you and just wanted everybody to give me a quick update.
Sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Just ran out of power at my house, so I had to rush to my cousin's house. But here we are. Thank you all for waiting patiently. Let's get started. Deepika, did you already introduce me? If not, I'll let you kick it off.
No, I was about to. So let me start it again.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Hey guys, thank you first of all for joining us today. We have with us Amit Arora. You can see him. He's a blogger, podcaster, and a Salesforce consultant. He has about 6+ certifications in the field of Salesforce and is also earning a 6-figure salary. He started his career in hospitality and he gradually moved over to Salesforce. He has worked in different varieties of projects as a consultant. And he is here with us today to share his knowledge and expertise. He's going to share with us today how he moved from hospitality, how we can also do it the same way. A lot of students are Salesforce admins and they struggle to find their first job. So he will try to answer as many questions as of yours towards the end. So from here, I welcome Amit. Thank you so much for giving us your time. It's all yours from here.
Thank you so much. First of all, apologies again to everyone for not showing up on time. That's my biggest pet peeve. Woke up this morning, I'm ready, sitting in front of my computer, and my power just went off. Something I just couldn't control. But I rushed to my cousin's house. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen real quick. And then give me a thumbs up once you guys can see it. Deepika, you can let me know once you see. I'm also going to stop my camera. So we save some bandwidth there. And you should be able to see my Google Slides.
It's loading. So, yep, yes, it's here now.
Awesome. Perfect. So let's get started right away. Thank you for that great intro, Deepika. I am going to give you guys a little bit more background about me in the coming few slides, and we're going to then dive right into the strategies. So before we start, and Deepika, feel free to stop me, slow me down, say, Amit, you're talking too fast. I want to kind of set the stage on who this webinar is for, right? For aspiring Salesforce admins, of course, that's most of you who are attending. And Deepika, quick note for you. Could you poll our attendees here just to find out what level they are at? Are we at beginner, admin, intermediate, or ninja level? Just so I can get a feel for my audience. So obviously this webinar is for the current Salesforce admin. Deepika is going to pop that poll in the chat, so you can look for that too. And then I started as a BA. So this is also for someone who is in the BA role and just looking to move to a consultant. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is the big difference between a BA and a consultant. And then someone who's a quick learner, who's going to learn the tips and tricks today, go and implement it and start getting results. Now, at the end of the webinar, I'm also going to give you an opportunity to see what I do on a day-to-day basis as a consultant. So for those of you who stick around till the end, just a little bonus I wanted to throw in there. Some quick rules for today's webinar. So again, you're not going to consume the content and tomorrow expect to be a consultant. But if you're one of those who puts in the hard work, then I'm going to tell you that these tips are the ones who helped me become a consultant. So you do need the basic understanding of Salesforce. So if you're new to the Salesforce world, you have no clue what Salesforce is, obviously this webinar is not going to be of value to you. you feel free to stick around, but I don't want to waste your time. Just wanted to paraphrase that. And then finally, if you're passionate about Salesforce and learning, and I'm guessing that's why you're here. So that's my mugshot. That's when I used to have hair. I started in the hotel industry, like Deepika said, in 2006. Feels like a decade, well, over a decade ago, right? Started as an intern, worked in the hotel industry till 2015. And then finally, when I became the general manager, it was kind of too much because it's a 24/7 operation. So I wanted a switch. So I made a switch without any prior knowledge of the IT world to being a BA. So that's when I started in May of 2015. And then just 3 short years later, I went from being a BA to working at Slalom as a consultant. And we're going to go into the primary differences towards the end. Now, I'm not showing all of this to you to gloat about it, but to tell you that if I can do it, trust me, anyone can do this. But of course, a little background, let's go back a few more years. I was born in like a middle class family. My mom always wanted there are two of us, me and my older brother. So she always wanted someone to be a graduate in the family. Lo and behold, I flunk in my first year of commerce. We used to go to this college called MMK. If you're from Mumbai, you might have heard of it. But I failed it. Oh, I want to take a quick break. Please start typing in the chat where you're from. I want to know where everyone's from. I'm going to get to my chat screen in a few minutes to check.
Amit, I did that poll before you walked in.
Okay, perfect.
If you look at the chat, you will probably see everybody locations. We have everybody joining from different parts, and some are from Gujarat, Australia.
Awesome.
A lot of them from India today, Canada. So everywhere you can think of around the world.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So yeah, I failed in my first year of college. My dad tried to take me to NIIT, and I was like, you know what? No, everyone's going in the IT industry. I don't want to do that. Big mistake, but I still made it. So that's a little bit of background about me. I told you all this stuff. MMK was an awesome college. I had fun, but I never attended classes. So then I switched the careers. I did my hospitality management through IHM Mumbai, which is one of the best colleges in India, but I still wasn't happy because of this. This is what my day looked like as a hotel general manager. Now, yeah, given this might have been an extreme case, but our hotel guests used to sometimes trash the rooms. Then when I started my BA role, a much cleaner look, started looking at process maps and agile implementation, a lot more fun and a lot more learning. I've put my rate out there too, because I wanted to tell you that I didn't start off making good money. You could argue that if you're looking at this from a different country, this might be a lot of money, but in US, it's not considered, especially for a BA role. But it was my foot in the door. I wanted to get started. So I went to a recruiting company and they got me placed. This is the company I started with, Robert Half, and they placed me as a BA. Again, making $22 an hour. At the same time, I had an offer letter in my hand. You can see June 23rd, 2015 is the date highlighted, to be a general manager at 58 grand a year. I said, no, I'm going to say no to this, and I'm going to pursue my dream as a BA to hopefully make something in the IT industry. So this is the company I started with, United Illuminating. It's an electric company in Connecticut, one of the 2 electric companies in Connecticut. And this is my boss. Her name is Jane. She's still there. And she's the one who's the reason I'm still in the IT industry, because she believed in me and hired me. Here we are, 2018, 3 years later, super cool, awesome office at Slalom. Now, remember that building I showed you? That's also where Slalom was. So I did kind of like a 180. So that was it for my story. Now let's get into the 6 tips. Now, one final thing I want to point out here. When I started with Slalom, if you look at the bottom of this, all my certifications, I only had 1 certification. I started with Slalom in May of 2018, and in February, I got my Salesforce admin cert. So again, Not trying to gloat, but to show you that you can do it with one cert. You don't need to have a boatload of certifications to get started as a consultant. Let's get started. Deepika, anything before we get started?
Nope, I think everybody's fine. Everybody having any issues listening or sharing screen, let us know. Otherwise, yes, you can proceed, Amit.
Awesome. So the first and the most important and most overlooked thing that I find time and time again is your LinkedIn profile. So I want to start here. This is a great example of what your LinkedIn profile should look like. This person has identified that they are 9 times certified and they're only looking for C2C opportunities. And they're gloating about their super badges here, their title. So if I'm someone who's in the market to look for a Salesforce admin, I can look at this person and say, yep, he's 9 times certified, he's C2C, that's what I'm looking for. Let's reach out to him. Make sure that your LinkedIn profile is saying all those things. The second thing is, if you're currently not working anywhere, you want to look for a job, make sure you mark yourself available for hiring on LinkedIn. So when you go to edit your profile, you can see this thing. It says open to finding a new job. If you click these two things, recruiters will know that you are looking for a job. Now, you might ask, what if I'm already working somewhere and I don't want my current client or my current company to know this? Well, in that case, they give you an option to say, check this box, which means only recruiters will know. But read the fine print. LinkedIn doesn't guarantee that. So if I would tread a little cautiously here, but you can still do it. So final thing on LinkedIn is your profile strength. Now, my profile strength isn't as great as you can see here, but I'm also not the one looking for a consultant role. If I was to look for one tomorrow, I'll guarantee you that I will make my profile strength reach all the way to the star and use the LinkedIn's recommendation engine and do the things that they're asking you to do to make your profile shine. Now, some of you might have heard of this term, your network is your net worth. And that's also something I would recommend with LinkedIn is keep adding those connections. LinkedIn has an awesome recommendation engine. Use it to your advantage. Whenever you see we recommend you connect with this person, add that person as a connection. And not just adding them as a connection, but interact with them in a meaningful way. Not just by saying, hey, saw your profile, I want to connect with you. Introduce yourself and don't ask for a job or don't ask for a favor because you don't know this person. Rather, be a person of help and say, I wanted to connect with you and see if I can help you with anything. Is there anything you need that I can help you with? Here are my skills. That's the way to approach your connections and to build those long-term connections. Hopefully that sounds good. Now, moving on, we have 6 steps to cover. Step 2 should be a no-brainer, but so was step 1, yet I wanted to kind of clarify some of the things there. These are things that I have learned through my years being a BA and then a consultant. So I'm kind of just sharing that with you. Step 2 is Trailhead badges. Trailhead badges is almost a badge of honor, right? We're a band of brothers and sisters, and we might not be in the Navy or the Army or have that culture code, but we have Trailhead, and that's how we connect with each other. So make sure you grab those badges, grab those points, and look at these people. They're all gloating about it on Salesforce, on Twitter. Gloat about it. So other people, your potential clients, your potential companies who are going to hire you can see, okay, this person is putting in the work. They have all these badges and points. So make sure you get those badges and you gloat about them. That's me. Obviously, I haven't done a good job. So I'm definitely not practicing what I preach. But again, I'm also don't have the time. Since I became a consultant, I'm always utilized at a client. If I have the time on my hand and I need to show to a potential client that I'm putting in the work, I'll start getting badges and points. Deepika, I want to take a quick pause and see if there are any questions in the audience.
Nope, I don't see any. I
Awesome.
think we'll take the questions towards the end, so everybody's
Perfect.
probably listening.
Okay, awesome. So the next one is answering questions in the Salesforce community. Now, Salesforce has done a great job of building a community. And if you haven't checked this out, the URL is right on top, success.salesforce.com. Go there, check it out. You have all of these people. This is just the leaders who answer questions all the time. And if you have been in the Salesforce ecosystem, even for a short amount of time, you've probably heard of this guy. His name is Steve Molis. He loves to be called Steve Mo. He has the most questions answered. Deepika knows the answer. I'm not going to quiz you guys because we made you wait, but he has answered over 85,000 questions. That's a lot of questions. And I love his title. He's a fixer of shit. And like he fixes things for real. And his answers are not like a quick one-word answer. He takes the time. So if you have the time, go and start answering questions. Now, I'm not saying you should beat Steve Mo. Your answer should also be the best answer out there. But this kind of builds your understanding and your knowledge of the Salesforce ecosystem. Even if that question has been answered, try creating that same problem in your own demo org. We get free dev orgs, free Trailhead orgs. So try recreating that problem in your own org so you get better at Salesforce. Now, if you want to find where all the unanswered questions are, you can click on this answers tab at the top, click on all, and then just sort it by unanswered questions and go and have at it. Again, try to solve it in your own org and then answer that question with screenshots if you can, to be the best out there and also to gain understanding. Now, user groups. Some of you might have heard of this. Some of you, if you're new and maybe you started Salesforce after COVID, this used to be a really awesome thing before COVID happened, is going and attending user groups. User groups are Salesforce's way to spread their word in every local community. They pay user group leaders in US, I think it's like $150 to $200 to host these meetings where like-minded Salesforce people can get together and talk Salesforce. Obviously, since COVID, it has gone virtual and is not as much fun, but it's still a great way to connect with even potential clients, because clients also, or companies also, visit these user group meetings. So if you go to that URL on top, trailblazercommunitygroups.com, you can find a meeting that's happening near you and just go attend it online. Eventually, we are all going to go attend them in reality once we all get the vaccine, hopefully. I'm getting mine on Wednesday, yay. So there is lots of locations to choose from. And you can see up here, I can select the country or the continent that I'm in and also go virtual. Of course, right now it's all virtual. Please check these out. Great way to learn. Even if you attend a user group meeting that's only for devs and you're not a developer, I am not a developer, but I've attended those meetings and they taught me so much that I could apply as an admin, as a consultant, that I never thought of before. So please attend those and make good use of them. This one is a no-brainer, but it is also one of those where how the hell do you get work if you don't have experience, and you can't get experience if you don't get work? And I have been in this situation, so I know exactly. Some of you might be thinking, all of this is great, Amit, but how do I implement this? How do I get a real job instead of just playing in my demo org? The answer to that is this website. Salesforce has its own website dedicated to pro bono work. So if you look at the bottom of the link, we can put this in chat. It's bit.ly/SF free jobs with underscore between the two words. This is Salesforce's way of letting you find pro bono work with different companies. Pro bono means free. It's free work, but in return, you get the experience. Now, I won't concentrate too much on these locations here because every work right now is virtual, which means your chances of getting this work is higher because you don't have to be in that location. Especially these jobs are usually 2 to 3 months long, and we are all still in quarantine. So you can get away with applying in South America, Europe, Asia, wherever you are. You don't have to be limited by that geographical boundary. And then the final thing that I want to touch on, which is how we first started, is temp roles. This is how I got my break in the industry as a BA. Go to Google and just search for tech staffing companies or software staffing companies. Google will tailor those results based on your location. So I searched for this, and these are all the locations I found. And a lot of people don't think of these as a viable source of getting a job. But if you're just getting started, this to me is the best way to get into the industry, because these companies have skin in the game. When I first started at Robert Half, they were keeping half my paycheck. I think that's why they call them Robert Half. I don't know, but their skin in the game is they take a cut of every penny you make, and that's an understanding between us and the staffing company that it's their job to staff you, and in return they're going to keep a cut of your paycheck. So to them, I hate to use this word, but to them, you're just another cash cow. Yeah, they're going to cursory glance over your resume, but their job is not to interrogate you and to see if you know what you say you know on your resume. They don't even know what you do. Their job is to only match your resume to a client, send you to the client, and then the rest is up to you. So when they first sent me to my first job at United Illuminating, I I was scared. I had never been in a live interview in front of someone and answered those questions, but I aced it apparently because they offered me the job. So don't discount staffing agencies. I want to do a quick time check. I know I was a little late, but we've still been together approximately 30 minutes. I want to ask you a question here. And here's my question. Lots of questions are going to start now. So the question that I want to ask you is, would you like to learn more in the coming weeks and months on what I do and how I do it? Because I want to share something with you today. Something that I have been working on for the past year, which is now ready for me to share. And that's when Deepika was gracious enough to say, okay, you can share it with my audience because I've seen what you've been working on and I like it. I know it certainly would have helped me in my career, and that's what I want to share with you. But before I do, I have another question for you. So I know why you're here today, because you want to learn how to become a Salesforce consultant. Of course, that was the title of the webinar. But the question is, where do we go from here? I want to know which one of these you identify yourself as. Are you someone who's going to go back to work or go back to looking for work and continue doing what you were doing? And hey, it was a great webinar. Let's go back to what we were doing. Or are you going to learn what I taught you today and implement it in your life to go ahead? Or this one is a big one. Take what you've learned, implement it, see how it can help you, and keep coming back for more learning. I personally identify myself as C. Hopefully you did too. If you identified yourself as A, you wouldn't be here. But I know some people, we get caught up and we just go back to the way things were. So the next thing I want to ask you is, this slide I wanted to put in there just to kind of pop it out, but this is the truth. How does 25K more sound as a consultant? So when I was working as a BA, I also got hired by that same company as their full-time Salesforce admin, making $85,000 a year. Remember that first slide that I showed you, that I had an offer letter in hand for $58,000. If I had taken that job, it would have taken me 30 years to probably get to $85,000 with an annual raise of 3% a year. No, thank you. I put in the work. In 3 years, I got the job offer with 85K in my hand, but slalom comes around and I was going to ask them for 105. I was like, okay, 20K more, it's a good money to make the jump. They offered me 112. Now, I don't know about you, but that kind of money gave my life the freedom that it needed, and my wife could stay home with the kids, and I could concentrate on delivering projects to clients. So that's why today I want to introduce you all to what I've been working on, which is called Consultant Mastery. Now, this is the first ever online course that, in my opinion, I was having a hard time finding this when I first started, that it teaches you real world projects as a Salesforce admin and as how to become a consultant. So I've developed this step-by-step training program where I'll teach you the knowledge required to become a consultant through real world projects. When I first started as a BA, I was just looking at YouTube videos and kind of winging it. But I wanted to give it back to my awesome admins, who I like to call my Ohana, which is a Salesforce term. So that's what I wanted to tell you about. Now, who is this course for? I'm going to also show you what's inside the course because that's really important for me. But who is this course for? It's for someone who has been introduced to Salesforce and wants to make it a full-time career. If you're a quick learner, this is for you, because working as a consultant, not only do you have to be a quick learner on the platform, which means you have to know Salesforce, but you also have to learn all these different niches and pick them up real quick. And that's the part I love about being a consultant, is I get to learn all these different industries. This one is a no-brainer. If you're still watching this webinar, then I assume you're looking to grow your income and get that financial freedom. I know money is important, but so is passion, and passion is more important than money. So if you're not passionate about your job, then you won't make it far, right? I can guarantee you won't make it far if you're not passionate about your job. Let's also touch on who this course is not for. If you are someone, I touched on this in the beginning of the webinar, but if you're just looking, I'm going to go tomorrow and take the course and make like 112K. No, it's not going to happen. You have to put in the work. So don't assume that this is going to be like you took the course and get a job. And if you're just brand spanking new to the Salesforce ecosystem and you have one badge and 100 points in your Trailhead org, then frankly, let's have that discussion 6 to 8 months from now, because this might not be the right course for you, because this isn't one of those where you learn the Salesforce basics. Like, I'm not sitting there teaching you how to create a field, how to create a page layout, how to edit a page layout. I assume you already know that, and we're going to build on that to teach you more complex stuff, how to build flows, how to assign page layouts, and what does a consultant do. We'll get to that in a minute. But before we get that, of course, if you're happy in your current position and not looking to progress in your career, then thank you for attending, and hopefully those tips will help. But if you were one of those who didn't say yes to any of the previous slide, then this course is for you. Now, I told you I'm going to ask a lot of questions. So my next one is, wouldn't it be great if you could make that extra 25 to 30K a year and take that home? Again, we talked about this. I went from 85 to 112. Get experience in different niches. I touched on this. But as a consultant, I've worked in the banking niche. I've worked in marketing. I've worked in utilities. I've worked in healthcare. The healthcare project was one of the really best projects of my life with Slalom. Attend Dreamforce is a perk when we can actually attend conferences again. And I'm pretty sure that in 2021, Dreamforce is going to be back. If not, then 2022 is right around the corner. And I did get to attend it in 2016, and it is a lot of fun. And of course, that extra bonus paycheck. Today is March 20th. I got my bonus check for 2020 yesterday, and it was 5% of my annual salary. Usually it's 8% of your annual salary, but it depends on company to company, and also due to the economic times, it was a little less. So you do the math, 5% of 112K. It's real good money. So let's get into what is in the course. The course itself is made up of 3 projects real world projects that I have worked on that I want to teach you. Project one is Service Cloud. In this project, we implement Service Cloud for a company called TransferX. I'm going to obfuscate, I think that's the right word, the name of the clients. So you won't know the actual name of the clients, but the projects itself is real. All the build that I will do is real, but you just won't know the names because my company signs an NDA with these clients, so I can't divulge their names. And because I plan to continue working at Slalom full time, so I can continue to deliver value in the course. Now, this project is broken up into 4 sprints, which is a Agile methodology. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of Agile. Google it. Agile is always done in sprints. And that's how I'm breaking down the project, because I want to give you the real world experience. Sprint 1, we cover a lot of stuff in here. How to write Jira stories. What the heck is a Jira story? I should have put how to write user stories. Jira is just a tool, but user stories can be written in any platform, whether you're using Jira, Excel, DevOps, doesn't matter. How to set up profiles and record types, why to use record types, page layouts, field level security. So we're going to cover a lot in just that first sprint to show you everything that happens at a client's location. Now, all of these projects have been remote. There were some projects that were on site, but most of them have been remote because as a consultant, you don't really have to be boots on the ground. Although Slalom, the company I work for, our model is local, which means we always have local offices and we don't use any offshore resources. And that's how we sell our unique selling points, so to say. Sprint 2 is not too much of the actual bullet points, but a lot of work building process builders and validation rules. And Sprint 3 is more on the finalizing the list views, getting UAT feedback. UAT, also known as UAT, is user acceptance testing. So as you start testing with your users, you start getting feedback, and now you have to go back and make some changes possibly. Updating pick lists on record types, that's another thing. Permission sets, all of the stuff that you might have heard of and hopefully even worked on, we will touch on that in sprint number 3. Then sprint 4 is more on finalizing the project. So that's when we get into change set deployments. Now, if you've worked on your own demo org, you know that you don't have access to change sets because those demo orgs aren't connected to any other org. Well, I can show you the change set deployment and I'll walk you through it because I was in the client org. Again, client details are not there. So to you, it wouldn't matter, but you get to see how those change sets gets deployed. I also have a deployment checklist that I follow that will be in the course. And then how to do mass imports using data loader. Project 2 is coming this month. It's about drone management for a state government. This one was a super cool project. The city that hired us uses its drones for a multitude of surveillance projects, and they wanted to capture all that data in Salesforce. We need a drone to go do a bridge inspection. Let's build that in Salesforce. We use Sales Cloud for that. And then project number 3 is back to Service Cloud, where we will be talking about a state government using Salesforce for correspondence management. And what does correspondence management mean? This state, whatever state hired us, the state's constituents, who's people who live in those states, the voters, they didn't have a means to report problems. If there is a tree fallen on the road, if there is an exit sign missing, if there's a huge pothole, they used to call in a 1-800 number, file the complaint. That complaint used to be filed in an Excel file and then emailed to someone. So we brought them into Service Cloud and implemented a ticketing system for them. That's in project 3. Now, before I launched this course, we did some beta testing, and I had students who are currently going through that transformational phase of becoming a consultant. And Monty was one of them. He helped me kind of shape the structure to make it more student friendly. And you can see his review. He says, get ready to march in your consultant career. So that was really great. And I wanted to kind of showcase that. Now, might be wondering, okay, what else? Because I always wonder that, what else can I get? Private student only community, which is going to be sitting on top of Chatter. You get 5,000 free licenses with Chatter. So I'm using a Chatter group to stay in touch with my students, keep a pulse check on them, make sure they are succeeding, make sure they are finishing the course. You also get project highlights. I told you that I worked on a project for healthcare. This was the most impactful project of my life because there were 43 of us, and we were implementing in 3 short months vaccine management for one of the counties in US. This county was one of the largest counties in US. It has 750,000 residents. So I will actually walk you through the highlights of that project. We won't be building stuff, but I'll walk you through the architecture of, here's what we did, here's what cloud we went with, here's what integration platform we went with, and here's how we built it. So I want to give you that because I'm continuing to work on some cool projects. And then monthly live Q&As. Deepika has said she's going to hold me to this, and if I don't do it, she's going to find me and she's going to not be nice to me. So monthly live Q&As where we all get into a Zoom meeting, more informal, where we all switch on our cameras and discuss problems that you're having and how do we solve them. Apart from that, you also get lifetime access to the course. Now, when I wrote this down, I was like, lifetime can be a little tricky. Are we talking my lifetime or the course's lifetime? So we decided it's going to be the course's lifetime as long as the course is active. Also free updates. As I continue to learn more things, I'm going to update the course. You get access to that. And quality support. You can reach me in the Chatter group or my email. I pretty much respond within 24 hours. So that's in the course. And that's when I'm sure you're wondering, how much are we talking here? What does the course cost? I'm going to get to that. But here's the deal. Once I was done creating this course, I went out to seek advice from some industry professionals. I looked at what other people are charging for Salesforce training courses out there. Then I turned to Salesforce's own bootcamp. This is the admin basic bootcamp. And this is what Salesforce charges for their admin basic bootcamp, $900. That says here, learn the fundamentals of being a Salesforce admin in just 30 business days. I was like, okay, that sounds like a good measurement to go by. I found another Salesforce course called Advanced Admin Essentials for Experienced Admins. This one is $3,600. I was like, okay, that's a little much. Let's not go there. So before we get into the cost of the course, I want you to know the value of the course. The value of the course itself is about $1,000 for the 3 real-world projects. That's the first project, which was the legacy CRM to Salesforce transformation. Then we have the drone management and the correspondence management. Then you also get the bonuses. So you have 3 bonuses here through private student community, highlights from the project, and the monthly live Q&A. So you combine all 6 of these things, it adds up to about $1,294. I'm adding the cost of the bonuses that I'm throwing in there without an additional cost. But I know that is a lot of money, even if Salesforce doesn't think so. So don't worry, I'm not going to charge you $1,294. It's not even half of that cost for this course. And Monty already told me, dude, this course is underpriced, so we are actually going to fix that. So I've priced the course pretty competitively at $247 because I want to provide you the best value and also make sure that you're able to afford it and go through that course. Now, remember, that's an investment which could possibly get you a return of 20 to 25K per year. If someone told me that, hey, you pay me once $250 and I can make you that much, now I'm not guaranteeing that, but I'm going to teach you everything I know as a consultant and you can go and implement that. Deepika had said, some of my students might want a payment plan. So we also put a payment plan in there. And we also have a $50 coupon Deepika is going to give us. So it's going to actually knock off $50 of this price to $197 instead of $247. And I also wanted to make this a no-brainer for you because I know when I buy something, I look for money back. Especially in the US, we return everything. So there's a catch though. You do have to put in the work and prove to me that you have done everything I teach you in the course. And after that, if you still think that it wasn't worth the value, I'd be happy to return your money. I don't want to hold you hostage for this course. Now, here's the thing about money. You get a paycheck every 2 weeks, at least in US, other countries might be once a month, but the money comes back every 2 weeks. It's like an endless pot that you keep replenishing. Now tell me something. Does that happen with your time too? Once you lose time, do you get it back? Of course not. If you miss your daughter's first dance or your son's first pitch, you're not getting that time back. So that's what this course is going to do. It's going to buy you time by showing you the shortcuts that I have learned through the years that I've distilled into that one course. Now, you have two choices in front of you. The first one is to invest in yourself, take action, and start learning. You can find out more about that course by clicking that link in the bottom right corner, and Deepika is going to put that in the chat as well. So you can either invest in yourself, take action, learn the skills that are required to be a Salesforce consultant, or do nothing. Go back to work tomorrow and continue doing exactly what you were doing yesterday. You have to decide which choice sounds more exciting. And just because you showed up here today to the webinar, something tells me that you're here for a change and not continue to do what you were already doing. And that second option never makes me happy. I don't know about you. Now, remember when I first started in the Salesforce admin world, I was making $22 an hour. But I have those years of learning that I want to provide you with a blueprint by showing you everything that I have learned. So allow me to quickly take you in the members area to show you what you're going to see in there. Once you click that link, this is the page you'll see on the left side. You have your two pricing options. The coupon will already be applied, so don't worry about the $50 off coupon. Then, once you have purchased, you get into the members area. Course 1 is ready for you. All 4 sprints, and I have some bonuses in there. I wanted to teach you a small flow that I worked on. So that flow is in there. I was really scared of flows, but now I'm learning them and I want to pass that knowledge to you. So again, as a reminder, the course is a one-time payment or 2 split payments. And I wanted to make that easy for you. So I did want to provide the 2 split payments. And just because you're part of Deepika's family of MyTutorialRack, you get the $50 discount applied. There are some frequently asked questions that I wanted to touch on before we get into your questions that you might be waiting on. So thank you for patiently waiting. I have 4 more slides and then we'll open it up to Q&A. How long do I have access to the course? Lifetime of the course. You have access to it, self-paced. So this isn't a live course. I'm not going to be in there with you live, but you will be watching me do things on my desktop, going through the org, and hopefully you can do the same side by side. And that's the best way to take the course. How long will it take to complete the course? Again, this depends on your time and availability. Some people like to binge watch it, and some people like to take their time by implementing it and going through the sprints week after week. So it's really based on your schedule. Refund policy, we touched on this, 30-day money back guarantee. As long as you can show me that, Amit, I went through all the lessons and I didn't really learn anything, which I don't think will happen, but we have had 0 refunds since we have launched this course. I've launched this course to my audience first, and then I came to Deepika and we partnered up together, and we've had 0 refunds. But again, doesn't mean you can't ask your money back. Feel free. I get this a lot. I'm a certified Salesforce admin. Is this course for me? Absolutely, 100%. I started as an admin and then moved into a consultant. I didn't even know what the heck a consultant does till I was exposed to that. And now I love it because I get to leave the project once the project is over. Sorry, Deepika, I know you're stuck there. Will this work for me to get a Salesforce job? If you put in the work, learn all the things that I teach you, then absolutely. Implement those things, and I don't see why not. And then I get this a lot from my students. Will there be any support? Of course, we're going to meet monthly. Remember, once a month Q&A. You can reach me through the chatter group, or you can email me. That's how you get support. And I'm here for you. The private student group is for your accountability, so you keep on track and keep finishing those lessons. If your question is not answered here, I'm going to open this up, stop sharing my screen, and jump into chat and see if there are any further questions. So give me 1 second.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you so much for the presentation. I wanted to, can you guys hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I wanted to give a few more things, or just basically want to summarize why I have chosen this particular course as part of my tutorial rack. Because one of the things that I really see is like most of the students, you can Google stuff to get the answers. Like if you wanted to know how a flow needs to be done and things of that nature, but a lot of students who needs the experience as working as a real time, it's not there. Like that courses doesn't talk about how things are done in the real world. So when Amit described me his course, I really liked the 3 projects that he has included, which he actually worked on. This is not something from online. This is something which he actually worked on, implemented, and he's willing to share all that experience with you all. So by taking this course, you're just going to get a jump start on all those things and how things are done. And you can also add or improvise on those projects, and you can do it as part of your resume. It also will help you during your interview, because interviewers like to grill and figure out if the resume that they are looking at is a fake one or it's a real one, because these days a lot of fake experiences are also going around. So you need to stand up and you need to actually present them with some words that you can easily showcase that you have the real experience. So this course will kind of help you in that sense as well. So those were some of the very important things. And he also said that he's going to do a monthly meetups, which is basically very important when you are going through a course, because sometimes students want to ask questions and there should be a platform where they can ask questions. So that's why this is kind of gives you a best of both worlds, and the pricing was also a kill. So for all those reasons, I definitely recommend you guys to check out his course. And because I've never shared any other courses with you guys in the past, because I know I have done pretty much whatever everybody else, but this one is a little different because it's more project oriented and giving you a real world feel of the stuff.
Yep.
So that's just my thing that I really liked about the course.
Thanks.
Now I'm at, there are a bunch of questions for you for the chat.
Yes.
So take it from there.
Yep.
And then I think I've shared the link and with everything, and there's a sticky note up there, as you can see on the top. You can click on that as well, and it'll directly take you to the course.
Yep. And thank you. I'm going to answer those questions, Deepika. I want to share a secret. Hopefully you guys keep it between us, but I faked my resume too. But now, Deepika mentioned this. That's how I switched from hospitality to being a BA. However, one, I'm not proud of it. Two, as I mentioned, I think we're all grown-ups here, so I was shit scared in my interview. Well, I have kids, so I have to watch my language here. But I was really scared because I was like, what if they ask me something that I don't know? So yes, I did it. I shouldn't have done it, but I aced it because I knew my stuff, because I had been prepping to become a BA. Obviously, you guys are all here because you are currently in the industry, and this goes to show you that if someone like me can do it and just switch careers like this, it's possible. Actually, Melvin asked, will deployment techniques be covered? Yes, Melvin, we are going to do project highlights that will cover more deployment techniques as I come across them. The only one that I have personally used in my 8 to 10 projects that I worked with Slalom is change sets. So, but I do use a few Chrome extensions for those change sets that I will share in the course. And that's the beauty, right? You don't get to experience deployment because you don't have access to those warrants. And you will be able to see that in my org, because you just devs just don't give you connected orgs. Dilip said, can you share course content and joining details? So Dilip, if you go to that link that Deepika has put in the chat, it will take you to the sales page of the course. And that page also has all the curriculum of what's inside the course. Please resend link. Deepika, thank you for putting that in. I'm from Pakistan, Abid said, and currently I'm working with Laravel, but I can do Salesforce consultant without doing SFD and admin. So that's a good question. You can do consulting work. One of the things that I didn't update in my slide, which is in my student area, I'm creating a resource of all the temp roles that open up on Upwork, and I want to give those resources to you so you can go. So I have invested in a software that provides me with real-time links of any consulting work that comes up on Upwork. Upwork is a freelancing place where you can apply for consulting jobs. So I'll share that too, where you can apply for those jobs while you're waiting to get hired as a full-time consultant. Hopefully that helps. I'm scrolling through the chat and looking at all the questions. Sumitra said, I need to know how to do data migration along with the course. Yes, that's in sprint number 4 for project 1, which is for the company called TransferX. We do the data migration because it was from a legacy CRM to Salesforce. So I walk you through that data migration template on how they provided us the data from the legacy CRM and then how we insert that as records in Salesforce. Let me see, is Sales Cloud covered? Yes, Melvin. So project 1 and 3 are Service Cloud. Project 2 is Sales Cloud. The reason why it's only Sales and Service Cloud, in my opinion, that's kind of like the core of all the clouds. I know we are running on time right now, so I'm going to answer this question and then maybe take one last one. Is as long as you know Sales and Service Cloud, those kind of create the foundation of your understanding of Salesforce. The project that I worked on for vaccine management, it was Health Cloud. The project I'm on right now is Financial Services Cloud. I have no clue how those two clouds work, but I'm not scared. I'm not afraid because I know it's just going to be a little variation of what I already know between sales and service. The principles are the same. You still have the same sharing rules, permission sets, field level security, validation rules, process builders, flows. That doesn't change. It's just some added features that come as managed package as you branch out into different clouds. Let me see. Can I become a Salesforce admin after the course? I'm not sure. That depends on you, Srinivas. Good question. You have to put in the work. You have to then go to a client and let them know that you know your stuff and be ready to know your stuff. And yes, if you do all of that, then I don't see why not. Vinod said, is consultant mastery, is there any specific specialization? The specific specialization is for you to be in my shoes and see what I do on a day-to-day basis as a consultant. Cheryl said, I'm starting as a new Salesforce BA. Can you help answer my questions that come up with our own projects? Yeah, that's why we have the student community, Cheryl, is to answer your questions, whatever that may be. You just ask that question. I'm pretty active in there and other students are jumping in, helping you as well. So we have that kind of community ohana for everyone. I think that's the last of the questions, Deepika. If there's nothing else, I want to thank you all for coming. Dilip said, can you resend the course joining link? I can't see it in my window. We're going to put that in the chat.
Okay. Amit, is it possible to do another 15 minutes? Because I think people have a couple of questions. If you're not
sure.
Time, I would like to kind of continue and people can ask questions. If you want to take a little 5 quick water break, let me know. And
No, I'm good. I can talk all day.
I think it's a weekend and people have a little bit time at their hands. I want to make sure everybody understands what we have.
Absolutely.
Dilip, did you get the link that I just sent you now? Thank you, Cheryl.
Perfect. Rajkumar is saying, I can see only project transfer acts remaining will be updated later. Yes, Rajkumar. I'm working on the other 2 projects while continuing my full-time job. So they are slated to be launched March and April for project 2 and 3. Amit, hey, another Amit said, can we showcase these projects in our resume? Frankly, what you do with your resume is on you. If you want to add that you have helped implement a project like that, that's, yeah, go for it. I mean, I can't stop you from writing what you want to write in your resume. Hitesh said, any course admin side covered, so make sure need to know. So my when I started creating this course, I did some research, and there are so many courses out there teaching you Salesforce that I didn't want to compete with all those amazing people, and that wasn't the lens I was looking from. I kind of went back in time and said, what would I want when I first started? And that's what I did with building this course, is teaching you. The structure is to teach you how to implement a project from start to finish for a client. It's not to teach you what is a difference between a date field and a formula field, or what is the difference between a lightning page layout and a classic page layout. That stuff, I assume, you already know. Hopefully that answers your question, Hitesh. Cheryl, thank you. Awesome. Well, see you in the student area, Cheryl. Looking forward to seeing you. Ravi, we're going to send the link again. Thank you, Deepika, for sending that. Hader said, sorry for being naive. I'm new to this. Would I need programming skills background to start in this field? Absolutely not. I don't code at all, like zero. And I refuse to. My company Slalom have asked me, hey, would you be interested in learning Lightning Web Components or Apex? And my answer is no. That's not what I do. That's not what makes me happy. My job is to, what really makes me happy is going and implementing these projects. Now, as a consultant, you also have to kind of put a BA hat and get those requirements from the client and then implement them in the org, and usually in a dev org, and then you move it to the prod org. So yeah, no coding skills required for what I do. And I feel like this is like a secret almost that is slowly getting out, that you can make so much money without having to code, which I'm surprised by too. But Slalom, Slalom bills me to a client, they charge for me anywhere between $200 to $250 an hour. Now, obviously, I can't go out and do on all of that on my own because I don't have the distribution to keep all of that money to myself. But I am happy with the 120 that I'm getting now. It was 112 when I first started in May. Now, due to annual raises, I'm making 120 USD a year, $120,000. When are you going to start the training and what is the schedule? So Dilip, the course itself is ready for you to go in and start doing it. We are going to do the monthly live Q&As where I will post those details in the chatter group. There'll be two, actually, instead of monthly, it's going to be twice a month, because I want to make sure I cover everyone's time zone. Rishi said, good question, Rishi. What do you put as a primary skill for a consultant? Listening and asking questions. Consultants are not order takers. We don't just build things because our clients ask us to build things. We ask why, and we ask pointed questions. We shouldn't be afraid just because this person is an executive at a C-suite level and is the president or the CEO. We shouldn't be afraid of their position. We should be rolling our sleeves and asking them, why the heck do you want this? How is that going to help you look at your metrics? And if that makes sense, then yes, let's build it. So a lot of asking questions and listening. Is Rakesh Kumar said, is this recorded course or online? Both. It's an online course you take at your own pace, and it's pre-recorded. So the content is there ready for you. Is there any plan to make a live session? So Navan, the live session would be like the monthly live webinars we do. That will be live where I show up, you put the camera on or don't if you don't feel like, and we get on Zoom meeting and answer your questions. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see if there's anything else. I'm scrolling through the chat. Sorry, give me 1 second. Deepika, there was a question if the webinar will be available for replay. I don't know if we recorded this. If not, we can do another one.
Yeah. Usually they do whenever we do the webinars, they do have a recording automatically on. So I'm not sure. I just have to double check on those. If not, we can do it if possible, if based on your time convenience.
Awesome. All right.
Vinod has a question. So guys, we just another few minutes and then we're gonna wrap up. So please come up
Yep.
with questions now.
And you can email me. I'm gonna type my email in chat if you think of something. Because Deepika, how many days do they have for the coupon to expire? 4 days.
That was on Thursday. So Thursday is gone, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's only till tomorrow. It's
Okay.
till tomorrow that they will be able to use this.
Gotcha. Vinod said, I'm yet to complete my SF admin certification. Sales Cloud and Service Cloud both will be covered. Yes, Vinod, both projects will be covered. However, I don't want you to think that this will help you pass your exam. There are lots of resources out there for passing the exam. This should be more of a what do people do when you get a job as an admin or a consultant? What do you do? How do you start gathering requirements? That's the kind of stuff we cover. We will cover, of course, Salesforce related stuff, as I showed you, process builders, workflow rules, approval processes, all of that fun stuff. But I haven't structured it for you to pass the exam. I assume you already know all of that stuff. So, Chris, I think that answers your question too, that this shouldn't be considered as a foundation for Admin 201. This should be more of a, I would say it goes hand in hand. You're learning about your Admin 201, which is the basics, then this is more of the advanced stuff. Srinivas said, what's the difference between admin and consultant? Yeah, so admin, you're stuck with, no, I wouldn't say stuck, but you're implementing Salesforce just for one company. So Deepika is a perfect example. She's an admin. She does her day-to-day job in one company and one company only. A consultant works for this higher company called Slalom or whatever consultant company you can think of. And we go and implement Salesforce into different companies that hire us because they just don't have the IT skills or their resources are bogged down with other projects. So companies hire us to do that. That's the main difference. And you get to learn all this cool stuff being a consultant because you get to work in different niches. So I'm open for one last question. Payment options for those outside the US, Melvin asked, is so we have 2 payment plans, I think, and the discount is applied to the 2 payment plan as well. Okay, any final questions? Going once, going twice. All right, I think we can wrap this up. Deepika, anything else from your side?
No, guys, so if you are still looking for the link or how to enroll, you can send me an email and I will send you back with a link to enroll. If you have missed it, I would recommend, I have put it on the sticky note, just bookmark that and you have till tomorrow to use that. Otherwise, it's going to go expired. And that's all. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or Amit. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And thank you so much again for your time, Amit, and everybody for joining us today. Really, really appreciate that. And looking forward to next sessions whenever we do.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Take
you.
care, y'all. Bye.
Thanks.